Well, good evening and welcome to this Sunday, May 23rd edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me are co-host Dean Miners and birthday boy, Andre Doc Manders, as well as our guest this evening, Delray Rollins. First of all, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining. Delray, the season for you guys at Sussex has been a up and down one. Early, we guys were talking about the wickets were a lot soft. You know, you guys are still getting into your flow. What would you contribute the early struggles to the team season? Not just what you've been able to do, but the team season.
I think it's been a bit of a mixed start. Like really, we started well at Old Trafford against a pretty strong Lancashire side. Obviously, the weather sort of held back a result in that game. But then we went to Glamorgan and won pretty convincingly really in the end. I think by 8 wickets or 7 or 8 wickets, I think. And we put on sort of 450, I think, in the first innings. And then since then, we played on some sort of like tricky surfaces. A couple that have been, we've been a few runs short, but all in all, they've been. I think as a batting unit, we're done reasonably well on some tough surfaces. But yeah, I mean, obviously, conditions in playing cricket in England is probably one of the hardest places to play because, 1 week you play on a fast multi-wicket, and the next week you play on something that's slow, and nips around a little bit. So it's always about adjusting your game and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's been tough, but it's been a bit of an up and down mixed season, like you said. So far.
Doc?
Say something, Nara?
Yeah. You got a question?
No. I just got one question, Delray. It's what you guys are playing now is the 3-day game, right?
4.
What they play, 80 overs or 90 overs per side?
You play 96 in a day.
96.
So
96.
In a day, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing the 4-day format right now, Doc.
Yeah, I know it's a 4-day format, but I was wondering how they done it because I thought that one side couldn't bet so many overs. So now the Delray time is 96. Okay, well that's because
that's what they did in Australia.
They did.
That's what they did in Australia. So they play in Australia. They play on a Saturday. You and I will play against each other this week, and then if I bat all day today, next week we come back. It's your turn to bat. That's how they do it in Australia. That's the open format, and then they have a league on a 50-over league or 20-20 league on the Sunday.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So Delray, being that this is the first year, well, not the first year, but this is the first season that you started playing in this 4-day game, though, isn't it? Or is you played in it previously?
Yeah, this is the first season that I started in the team.
Right.
Previous years I've sort of come in and out midway through the season, and then a couple of years ago, I came in towards the back end and I done it right. But I mean, last year I started in the team, but it was a bit of a different season. We didn't play as many games, and it was a bit more. Yeah, it was a sort of early season conditions and all that sort of stuff.
They were running around in Willis.
Yeah.
Delray, you mentioned about the batting. We were talking about the batting early on, and batsmen making the adjustment. Can you explain something about the bowling? How are you getting your rhythm in your bowling? How is that been on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say this is probably the best I've felt with the ball. I think, since being a pro and sort of learning the craft a bit more. Our head coach Ian Souls is obviously is our head coach now, so he's around a bit more than he has been the last couple of years. And me and him have a pretty good relationship, and just throughout the winter worked on some stuff with him, and I'm starting to sort of see some results of it. Of putting in the hard yards. I had a bowl on what's today? Sunday. I had a bowl on Friday, and the ball was coming out really nice. So yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's just about trying to find the rhythm, and I think I've found it. Reasonably well. I've been fortunate enough to bowl quite a few overs this year in some games. Obviously the wickets early season don't really tend to spin too much. We get some that are a
Right.
bit dry and sometimes, but in this part of the season, it's just about holding up and down sometimes for your team and doing a job. And yeah, I mean the ball's coming out nicely, and hopefully later on in the summer when the wickets are a bit more, help me and have a bit more assistance from me, I can pick up a couple more wickets.
Hmm.
Talking about your brilliant, how has that helped your confidence? Because you've been in certain periods of the game, you've been able to tie batsmen down, giving up maybe 3 runs and over, 2 runs and over here and there. But how has that helped your confidence?
Yeah, I mean straight away if you when you ask the ball and you know that you're in pretty good rhythms and you're not worried about where it's gonna land. I think it's not only good for you but for your teammates around you. I can definitely feel the confidence that they have in me now. Obviously with my skill improving and stuff. But no, it's just nice to have that feeling that knowing that I'm gonna land it where I want to and with my skills and a bit of natural variation sometimes, hopefully, like you said, go 2-3 and over and do a job for my team.
Mm-hmm. You have another question, Doc?
Yeah, it seems like now you're coming more of a burden all around. No, but I talk about the wickets early in the season, right? Well, Sussex, well, you're down south. Normally down south, the wickets are a lot better than up in north. So how are you adjusting now? With the wickets being a little, I wouldn't say soft, but I think the bunts is a little bit unpredictable because I saw your game against I don't know, it was Glenmorgan, one of your home games, and normally Sussex got a good wicket. So how you making out with the wickets, so early in the season betting on?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, actually, at home this year, at home we have had some nice wickets, some pretty good cricket wickets. We haven't been able to come out on the right side of a couple of results, but I think for the most part, the coaching and the captain sort of got what they wanted in the wickets. Like you said, yeah, the further you're north, the less sun you get sometimes, so not, they're not usually as hot there, but. We played, like I said, we played at Old Trafford. That's known to be sort of a hard, fast, bouncy wicket, and it was pretty much that, to be honest. It was a nice wicket up there, and for early season, I was pretty, well, not surprised, but you don't always expect it to be like that, but it was very hard and dry, and it was actually a pretty nice wicket. But yeah, I think it's just all about adapting. We went to Northampton. The wicket was damp, it was cold, and it nipped around everywhere. We got bowled out for 150 or something, and then things change and the wicket gets a little bit better throughout the game. But yeah, I mean, just try and adapt as much as you can, and just keep backing your skill. I think that's the main thing you could do. As a batter, you're gonna fail. You're gonna get good balls. So yeah, just keep backing this, keep trusting your process, and that will come off. And yeah, I think no matter where you go throughout the country, you always back yourself to score runs.
Dean?
Yeah, I have a burning question. How are you coping with the regulations, man? With I'm going to change it up a bit with the regulations with the whole COVID, and I think you guys have to give me some of the things that you guys actually do in there, because I heard that you guys have to sanitize your hands, you have to do certain things, the different protocols. How are you adjusting to that? How is your team adjusting to that?
Yeah, I mean it's been interesting. I mean for everyone around the world, but definitely in sport, it's been interesting. I mean, every 6 overs, 12th man has to come on and sanitize hands. You're not allowed to give your hat and your sweater to the umpire. So the 12th man has to come and get that as well. Um, yeah, and things like not being able to celebrate. You gotta sort of keep your distance while you're celebrating.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the heat of a 4-day game, and you're trying to win, and emotions involved, and you take wickets, it's pretty hard to, not hug your teammate when he takes a wicket. But yeah, I mean it's one of those things that you just have to get on with. Really, you know, it's there in place for now, and you know they just try and do it as best we can, and hopefully, you know, at the end of the season or next season, it sort of calms down a little bit.
Yeah.
I've noted in the games, a lot of you guys games, in one of the innings, a lot of you guys seem to get trapped LBW. Is that just through a lack of concentration, or is it just guys need more time out in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, this season we're in a pretty good group in terms of, you know, the teams that we play against. You know, we played, like I said, we started at Langston, we went to Glamorgan, then we played Yorkshire, then we played Lancs again, Kent, Northants. So every team is you know they have a very good bowling attack actually. I mean, we're probably the youngest, most inexperienced bowling attack in our group really. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's just cricket sometimes, you know, but bowlers set you up and you know, you get caught on the crease and, you know, or maybe guys are thinking about other stuff, you know, or there's all sorts of other things that go on, you know, when, you know, you just see the highlights and you just see someone get hit on the pad and you don't see the sort of 5-10 balls before that sets it up. But yeah, I mean, it's just, that's part of the game. That's the hard part of the game, and that's what makes, you know, getting runs or getting milestones so such a pleasing feeling, because you know that can happen to you at any time.
Doc?
When we were talking about the protocols, all right, do you guys still have to be in a bubble too? So can you go out, or do you have to be in this bubble like, you know, like all the other teams have been doing?
Yeah, it is. It's not a bubble officially, but it's sort of just the message is to follow the government guidelines really. Just stick to, you know, what is it? Seeing one or two households, I think it is, something like that. Just stick to that. And you know, and no one don't have any issues really. We have to do tests twice a week. I just actually had to do one just now, just before I came on. So yeah, we're doing tests twice a week, and you know, everyone's just sort of being smart about the way that they move around.
Dean?
Is there anything in place? Wondering if it was last year or this year. Is there anything in place when players actually going through stressful periods, especially? I know when you go through a lack of form, but now with this whole COVID thing, is there anything in place at the club level, you know, that you could talk to someone and just get you through hard times?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. They have. Well, we know at Sussex have this well-being app or something as it is and stuff. So, I mean, as the times are going on, I think obviously people are understanding that sort of mental health is probably just as important, or maybe more important than physical health sometimes, because you know, if you're mentally in a good place, you know, definitely as a pro athlete, then you know your skills and everything would just they just take care of themselves. Yeah, I think you find a lot of people who aren't in, you know, good mental headspaces, they struggle a lot on the field as well. But yeah, it's a lot of people you can go and talk to. You know, the PCA help you out, the Players Cricket Association will set you up with, you know, therapists and stuff to talk to. So it's a lot of ways that you can, you know, be helped in, and people can get on your side.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Delray Rollins over there in Sussex.
For almost 150 years, John Barrett & Son have been the home of Bermuda's best beverages. And they are proud to offer us the sparkling portfolio of Sunkist sodas with their refreshing rainbow of fruit flavors. Sunkist has flavors that nostalgically remind us of the bottled soft drinks we used to call minerals. The colorful thirst quenchers that are perfect for a beautiful summer's day. This month we're featuring the original Sunkist Orange Soda and new Sunkist Zero. Orange soda with no sugar and no calories. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. We've lost Delray for a second. He's back now. He's back. Delray, I saw your reaction to, I think, that catch that Joe Root took off of you. When you get out to a spectacular catch, are you one to sit there first and say, well, that's a good catch? Or are you still miffed at yourself for kind of playing a stroke you thought you should have, or a ball that you should have put away?
I didn't actually think he would catch. I didn't think he would get there at first, but I hit it so badly that he had enough time to move feet and get there. But yeah, I think I was more annoyed at the fact that the way that I got out. It's one of those things that is a ball that I've been hitting in practice the whole week. The weeks leading up to it, and it just sat in the surface a little bit more and just puffed out the surface a little bit. So it was hard to time, but. I probably could have had a look and waited another ball or two. But in hindsight's always a good thing. And it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But no, I mean if someone takes a good catch off, just again it's part of the game. It's how it goes. And hopefully sometime one of our teammates can do that too and ruin someone's day.
Doc.
I just got one more question, Delray. I know the 2020 and the 50 over coming up and the 100 tournament. Has there been any word on the 100 again being played? I mean, I know it's being played, but what about the overseas players that's supposed to be coming? Are they still coming?
As far as we know, yeah, majority of them are coming. I think some of the Aussie boys are missing because of a series they're playing in the West Indies, I think, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I think, if they don't have international commitments, I'm pretty sure that everyone's going to be here. But yeah, that's something that's really exciting. Actually tomorrow we actually have a media day actually in London for the 100. Looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the tournament. Something different, something that's pretty exciting. And hopefully, my team could come out on top.
You got a decent team.
Yeah, I mean, we do look like we're shaping up pretty well. And when there's talk that, like I said, some of the Aussie boys aren't coming, so I think we'll miss out on Warner and Stoinis, which would be a big shame. But I'm pretty sure that we'll have replacements out. That'll be be able to fill the.
Got a guy minus available if you need a wicket keeper.
No. Hey, listen. Actually, that was the last time when we played, and I played with Delray, right? I think I dropped Jordan, and I turned and I looked at Delray. Delray was like, "Yeah, that's it, Miles."
It's over. Yep, it's finished. Time's up.
You tell me, guys, it's over.
Good time. Good time.
Delray, take me. You know what? I'm interested. Take me through a typical day as a professional cricketer. I mean, many people. I mean, I know times have changed and everything, but take me through. Is it get up early in the morning? Is it have some Rice Krispie treat? What? Take me through a day. Like, what is it like?
You have different days, but okay. So on a normal sort of whole score team training day, we normally be in for like 9:30.
Okay.
You get some guys would be doing sort of loading, sort of rehab / stuff in the gym, in the morning.
Okay.
So they're stretching and what we call as what do they call it? Like just getting yourself moving basically in the morning.
Okay.
And then sort of a team warm up. Maybe a bit of we're not allowed to play actual football. Because people get injured too much, but we play like football, volleyball, and stuff.
Right.
It's a shame we don't get to play football anymore because, I mean, I do like to consider myself as playing sport.
All right, guys.
I've witnessed it. Yep.
But no, I mean, play a bit of football, volleyball, or something like that. Then it would probably be a team fielding session, and then into sort of bat v ball. So in 2 or 3 bowlers, bowling at 2 batters, and that will go on for sort of 3-4 hours.
Wow.
And then if you want any extras, they got the indoor school, you got the nets up at the top of the ground, and yeah, I mean, most of the time, because we have such a little time in between games and sort of get what you need, you feel like you need. Some days, I had a day a couple of weeks ago where I literally just went in, caught in the slips for not even 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and just went straight back home. So I mean,
Right.
it varies to sort of, sometimes the coaches are quite good at looking after you. And obviously, we played a lot of cricket, and the coach was basically like, just go home, like, get out of here, like, go home, go back to bed, do like, and that's where you go back to where you ask me, do you have people that you talk to in terms of, your mental health and stuff? And I think that's probably one of the best things about, the sporting world today is a lot of people actually understand that rest and is just as important as if I was to go and have another full day's training. So yeah, I mean, the days vary sometimes, but majority of the time is sort of get what you need and just make sure that you're prepared for the next game.
What about the
You
theory? What about the theory aspect? I'm sorry, Errol. What about
good.
is there a lot of theory that goes on throughout the coaching to the players, or is it just that most and all of the players know exactly what they need to do?
Um, you as a player would know, um, in terms of your preparation. Like I would know when I'm ready. Like I would say right now, I'm done. I'm set. I can go home tonight and be okay. Um, in terms of as a team and sort of how we're gonna go about winning games and stuff is it we normally have a meeting once a week before a game, and sit down and sort of break down teams and where they'll look to break us down and stuff. And that's quite important. Obviously relaying information that certain guys might not play against certain guys that we're playing against, and for young players coming in like myself who've not played quite a lot of games yet, um, it helps you learn the game a bit quicker. Um, picking their brains on some of the guys who have played sort of 50, 60 plus, first class games. But yeah, it's quite a lot of theory that goes on, but at the same time trying to keep it as simple as possible because the aim is to take 20 wickets to win a game, and the only way you do that is by being consistent with the ball and in good areas and holding on to catches and stuff.
You seem to have a first-hand view of the exploits of Ollie Robinson so far this season and him getting the call up for England. What has he been like in the dressing room? Because we all see him on the field. We don't get to see him in training a lot, but what is he like in the dressing room?
Yeah, I mean his vice captain as well. No, so he's quite a big figure in the changing room. But first and foremost, I say he's probably one of the biggest kids in the change room, definitely. Some of those things just don't go away from people, but no, I mean, he it doesn't seem as if he's played a lot of cricket, but he's very knowledgeable. He's what you call a cricket badger. Um, he would be able to tell you the way that one of the batters got out in his last 3 innings randomly. He would just say he nicked off twice and then got out LBW, and everyone's just like, "What? How do you know that?" Like he does his research, he does his homework. You can see he's always been driven to play international cricket. And it's he's probably done it for the last 4 or 5 years for Sussex now. So it's nice to see him finally get the recognition and obviously he's been in the bubbles and stuff, but to be in the squad, and I think he'll play and I think he'll do really well because I think he's mentally built for that and as we see his skill is up there with some of the world's best.
Yeah. Because you guys have quite a few internationals in the changing room in your team, when guys get called up to the national squad, obviously you play for Bermuda, Jaffa plays for England, Ali's now playing for England. What are the times like when guys get that call up amongst you players? Because it's got to be a good feeling for you guys knowing that the guy to your right or the guy to your left will not only be representing his country, but he also represents your team.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. It's like when you see that, it's like a goal was in touching distance pretty much. You know, and it's also nice to see because you see all the hard work that he does behind the scenes. Obviously, like you said, the fans don't see it, but we as his teammates obviously have seen the sacrifices that he's made the last couple of years, definitely. To make sure that you know when he got the call up, he was as fit as he could be. Um, you know, minimizing the injury risk. And you know always make sure that his skills are tip top. In Ollie in this particular instance, but yeah, I mean it's always a nice feeling to know that one of your teammates is getting the recognition. Like me and him are really close mates, and you know we spend quite a lot of time together outside of the game. But so I was quite pleased and happy for him. But you know we sort of as a team sort of knew that he was gonna be somewhere involved in that squad. And, yeah, rightly so, I think.
Dean?
Yeah, I'm just going to change it up. I mean, what are some of the similarities, right? What are some of the similarities and differences that you've experienced in England and comparing it to Bermuda? All right. So the first one will be, I would say, the first one would be player behavior and attitude. That would be that's my first question. And the second one, the game itself. And the third one would probably be the environment, like the pitches. So what are some of the similarities and differences that you've actually seen? I think many people would want to know this.
So similarities I see in behavior is that you know everyone's driven to and wants to strive to go to that next step or go to that next level. You know whether in Bermuda it was you know for me when I was growing up and you know watching guys like yourself and it was always to play for Bermuda and play cup match. You know, and then obviously playing county cricket is to play for England and play franchise leagues around the world. But yeah, I mean, I say everyone's always driven. You know, a lot of people back on the driven. I think to sort of do well in sport. You know, for various reasons. But you know, sometimes we as Bermudians lose control of our emotions in a negative way. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we get so caught up in the sport, the actual game, that we forget. You know that it's just a game sometimes. You know, we like obviously no one wants to lose and no one wants to get big decisions and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, you just have to accept it sometimes. You know, I've been on the end of a few bad ones for that. Me personally, I feel this year. And it's been hard to control my emotions. Definitely, walking off and we're near the ball or giving out LBW and you're just like that's not out. But it's you just trying to control your emotions as best as you can. I think that's one of the main things that I would say us as Bermudians don't do so well sometimes. And I think sometimes if we were able to get a handle on that, like a grip on that, then I think we would go as far as any of these association teams. Like, for instance, if you look at the football team now, they look as well drilled as any international team you'll see. You know, the way they go about their work. You know, the way some of the players hold each other accountable for mistakes or they pull each other up on stuff like that. I think that just shows that once you get certain things like that under control, then because we're so talented and so skillful, we can go anywhere, really anywhere else.
The second one was the game itself. I mean, we know that you're playing at it. What about the game in itself? The way that similarities and differences that we played here.
I would say one of the biggest differences is the cricket in Bermuda. I think needs to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get a bit more modern.
Okay.
Like the average cricketer, because everyone watches IPL and 50 over cricket. Watch the World Cup that England just won, and teams are getting 350, and it's like, wow, like teams getting 350, but that's the way the game's going now.
Okay.
You know, when someone scores 350 in the List A county game, is no one, everyone's like, we'll get them. You know, that's not enough runs. Like, you know, so I think we're a few years behind in cricket in Bermuda in terms of, you know, the skill and the actual way the game's played now. And I think if we can get, you know, closer to sort of 2021 cricket, then I think again we'll go a long way, because the talent and skill and like I said, the drive is there for players, and everyone wants to get better, wants to be, and no one in Bermuda likes losing. Everyone hates losing. Like, you
Right.
know, you know, everyone hates it. So I think if we can get, you know, some of those parts right, I think we would be just as good, if not better. I mean, we should have maybe played USA in Bermuda. To beat that team twice the way we did, um, I think surprised a lot of people. I think surprised some of the fans. Really, you know, obviously, you know, they
Yeah.
come to support us, but I don't think they expected us to be in the way we did. And I think we had just, you know, just improved our game, just starting to show that we're understanding, you know, modern day cricket a little bit more. And I think if we keep improving that, then I think we'll go a long way.
Last week we had on Javal Boyles, and we were talking about, you know, the clubs and the environment, you know, structuring a proper cricket environment. What are some of the things that you see when you go into that environment, that cricket environment? What does it look like? Which is a difference in Bermuda, because
I would say just the main thing would be just the attention to detail.
okay,
You know, just to find things. Like I always explain it to people as in, I don't know if any of you like watch rugby. A lot of people obviously don't, but when
yeah,
they get the extra conversion rate after they score a try,
Mhm.
the kick could be 10, 15 meters, but the guy still goes through his same routine as if the kick was 70 meters away or 60, 70 meters away.
right,
And just that minor, I think just that minor attention to detail is the difference, where, you know, we get to a certain stage and we drop off instead of getting to a certain stage and keep going. Whereas, you know, the professional athletes get to that stage and they realize, right, no, keep going. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, that would be like the main thing, is the attention to detail. Just it's fine margins. You would know, obviously, you know, when you guys go to the World Cup, you always want those key moments in games that's what got you there. And I think we lose those key moments now in certain games.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more with Dory Rollins over in Sussex.
Spring has sprung, and it's time for the Friends of Hospice Butterfly Blast annual raffle. The butterflies are emerging bigger and better than before this year, and there's over $40,000 worth of prizes to make things more exciting. 3 Caterpillar raffles containing $1,000 gift certificates leading up to the main draw. There are multiple chances to win, so buy early and increase your odds of winning. So spring into action and get yours today. Check our Facebook page, Friends of Hospice Bermuda, for details, or call 232-0859. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
Dory, with the Vitality Blast on the horizon, how much excitement is building for you? I know the fans are getting excited because they'll be allowed to the stadiums for that one there. So for you because I know that the shorter version of the game, you like to entertain. You like to hit the ball, you like to get on with the runs and all. But how exciting are you getting for the Vitality Blast?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air sometimes when it comes around. Obviously, the fans, like you said, a lot back this week actually. You know, they've been back in, you know, watching the 4-day stuff. But, you know, especially for me personally, I've struggled a little bit this year in 4-day cricket. So it'd be nice to sort of be able to free up a little bit more, I think, and you know, hopefully, you know, get a lock on my side, I can get a few scores. But I mean, it's always an exciting time of the year when T20 comes around. Like I said, it's like a breath of fresh air, and you know, you get some new faces in the team. You know, obviously we've got Rash coming back. You know, Davy's back in as well for it, David Visa. And then we've got players like Righty, Luke Wright, and Sophie will be back as well. So I mean, it's going to be exciting. You know, I feel like we're real strong again this year. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting stuck in with the boys, and hopefully we can go today.
Doc?
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of internet problems. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
have been having it.
But you work for internet company.
Talking about the T20 already. I see Rashid. I know you wouldn't think so, innit? Rashid Khan. I think he's coming back for you guys too, innit?
Yeah, we're getting Rash back. He's coming after the PSL or something like that. And these guys just play all these tournaments around the world. But, you know, I mean, yeah, he's going to the Pakistan Super League, and then he's coming back over for us. He's probably, you know, another key player for us again. And we didn't have him last year, but you know, to have him back in the team, you know, he loves playing for Sussex and he loves being around the boys. So hopefully, you know, he can contribute to a few more wins.
Dean?
Derry, is that something that you would like to do? Just be
And
like
also,
traveling constantly?
do you
Yeah.
Sorry, good. 1 sec, Doc. Go ahead, Dean.
No, Derry, is that something that you will like wish to do? To be playing in Pakistan, to be playing in India, to be playing all around, like, is that one of your goals?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say I've been close, but you know, I've had conversations with a few teams and stuff like previously. You know, COVID last year was a bit of an different year, obviously, so it was a bit harder to get into some leagues sometimes with bubbles and you know people go here and there. But yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like in T20 cricket, you're not far. You're closer than you think in some of these tournaments. You know, all it takes is one really strong year. You know, a couple of good innings on TV. And you know your name's floating around in some pretty big circles. But yeah, I mean it's always exciting because you know that you know there's an opportunity at the end of the season to go and play in a different country for a franchise team. So I mean no, you know just get my head down at Sussex and you know, I feel like the rest of that stuff will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc, you can hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you had another question for Dory?
Just one other question, Delray. I'm sure you know there's at least yes. I'm sure you know there's about 50 to 60 youngsters that's currently in the A. You know, that's doing that trade out there. That currently some of them's in the under 19 team. Now, what would you say to some of the younger cricketers that are out there trying to develop their cricket and go and try to be like a Delray Wallace? What kind of message would you give them?
I would just say enjoy cricket. You know, I think a lot of things that have happened to me, you know, y'all worked hard, but I think the main thing was I just enjoyed playing cricket. I didn't sort of think about playing cricket as a job until you know I got probably on the academy and was close, you know, that close to doing it really. You know, obviously I wanted to do it and had ambitions to do it, but at the same time, it wasn't like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. Like obviously, I was driven to do it, but I just enjoyed, you know, every game of cricket I played, every session I had. Enjoyed the teams I played for. Just tried to learn as much as I could. And yeah, and just enjoy the game, study the game as well. You know, when you're watching, you know, we're fortunate enough that a lot of cricket's played on telly now, and you can watch guys like Curly and AB and Steve Smith and Joe Root, Kane Williamson, Joff. You know, some of these guys you can watch them everywhere, anywhere, YouTube, all that type of stuff. So yeah, just study the game, but still enjoy your cricket.
I noted that you've had the net battles. You had a battle with Fidel Edwards, and you had a battle with Jaffa. Doing those because they're quite entertaining. You're challenging the bowler's challenging you, the batsman. Going through that whole process, because there's a big production for it. But take us through a day of that because you have to do that after training.
Yeah. So the one with Joff was actually after training and a photo shoot with me and him. So I was actually pretty hungry. I was like trying to get this over with. Like, hurry up, Jeff, let's go so we can go home. But no, it's again, like you said, it's fun, it's enjoyable for us. He's probably the last person I want to do it with because he's so childish. And if you watched it, you actually heard me say, "Take it easy" or "relax" to him a few times because I had on a helmet that wasn't really, it didn't fit me, so it didn't have no strap or anything on it, so I didn't really feel safe. But he definitely made sure he flexed his muscle and blew me a couple of bombs and stuff. But that's great with him. It's just.
I like the argument that you said it was 2 runs and not 1.
All the time. Whenever he blows at me in training and stuff, it's always. He just laughs sometimes. I'm just like, this man is so childish. But those sort of net battles are definitely funny. One with Fidel was it was a bit more serious, I'd say, probably, because he didn't want to let me win, Castro. He didn't want to let me win at all. And I think I came up 4 runs short or something.
Yeah.
I was pretty annoyed because he bowled me a ball, and I probably should have got much. No, that was enjoyable. Again, two obviously world class bowlers within the respect, and those sort of media days again and stuff like that is always enjoyable, and it always makes the hard work and the job that we do fun as well, because you get to have fun and do things like that.
Dean?
Yeah, Delroy, I know that you're very, very competitive, right? I know this. So let's take you outside of cricket, right? So what are some of the things that you do for bonding with your teammates? Is it darts? Is it pool? Is it golf? What are some of the things that you do outside of that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of golf. Boys, we got to play a little bit of golf.
Okay.
A lot of the time is PlayStation, Xbox, Call of Duty.
PlayStation.
Yeah, so
okay.
We get home from training, and as if we hadn't had enough time with each other, we get on straight away on PlayStation and stuff. And then on away trips, obviously we get like a team room now and stuff with COVID and stuff, and just football, when we just get around and watch football together, have a couple of beers or something, and just chill out. Yeah, I mean, our head coach is big on getting to know individuals as like the backgrounds, the personalities, and I think obviously with COVID we've had quite a lot of opportunity actually to be able to do that. Obviously restrictions involved and stuff, but yeah, I mean it's not so much against each other; it's more sort of with each other sometimes with like Call of Duty and FIFA and stuff. But yeah, I mean it's always fun, and yeah, the boys get on really well.
Nice.
Doc? Obviously, man, it works for the internet company.
Oh, Delroy,
That's so wondering. I think he got fired.
I don't know what's going on. I think it's Delroy, man. So your coach this. Your coach this year. What's your name of your coach again this year? This coach in
Salisbury.
Sussex.
Ian Salisbury.
Ian Salisbury.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, and yes, okay. That should be the off spinner. He played. Did he? He also played for England too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I think he's trying to get to the point of what does he bring to the club? I know you said he's been around for a while, but now as the head coach, how does his approach change the way you guys set up?
He's you can in preseason you definitely felt the difference in the intensity of training. But again, still it was fun. it was a fun battle with your teammates in preseason at the time. And like I said earlier, it's all about caring for your teammates and caring for everyone at the club. So like that old cliche is big family sort of thing. And yeah, I mean it's just been nice to learn from him. You have a young squad, and the average age is probably like 23 or something, 24, and that's because Mitchell Clayton's about 60, or something like that already.
You can get bread for that.
But I make sure I tell him that all the time. He's definitely called granddad around the team. No, but yeah, I mean, we have a young team, and he's definitely always in your corner with everything, and he wants you to learn, more and more every day, pretty much. And is always looking for ways to improve you as a player, or improve us as a team together, or you as a person. And yeah, it's been a good. I think it's been obviously we haven't got the results that we wanted, but in terms of the cricket that we played, the positions we got ourselves into, the way we've gone about our cricket, I think it's been a positive start to the season, and do his his start as head coach.
The one question that I have, Dory, is your coach really, really big, or even the players around, are they really big on nutrition and really taking care of their body and everything like that? Because every time I see you, I mean, you're always in great physical shape. I mean, always being. Is it something that it's 12-month thing that you just stick to? I mean, when you guys get back, do you always get tested? Just take me through the whole nutrition part and hydration and all that.
It's sort of left up to you as an individual, and being trusted to make the right decisions, and making sure that what they say your body's your temple. So
Yeah.
if you give yourself the best opportunity to be in the best physical shape, again, the skills will just take care of itself. Obviously we do our skin fold test, which is your body fat percentage or something. You just try and do that sort of every few weeks, just to make sure that you're on top of things. For certain guys, they have different goals, to other guys and stuff. But for the most part, everyone sort of understands, where they need to be, and what they need to do, and follow it and stick to it.
So do you guys do? Okay, Adam.
Yeah, being good.
No, I mean, is it always so those results, like beat test results, and those results are constantly monitored by the coaches. So if you're sort of off the mark, then you will get probably pulled in or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. If you're short, then you definitely. It's not so much a telling off, depending on how many times you get pulled in, it will be. But if it's sort of the first time and you're just off, it's just make sure just make sure that you're improving in that area, and mostly, if not all the players, if they do get that tap on the shoulder, then I bet you best believe the next time that they go in, that they're 10 times better. So yeah, it's a good environment to be in that respect.
As we know, even as a professional, you still get jitters before you go to bat. What is your routine when that wicket falls and you're the next man and you're sitting there? What is your routine as you prepare to get up and get out to the middle?
I'm interesting to some of my teammates sometimes, because I pad up very late. Even when I'm next in, sometimes I don't have my pads on, which is baffling to some of them, because I just don't like being ready too early. I feel like you expand too much mental energy for me. So I just like to relax. But sometimes I'm not a good watcher. I don't really like watching. So sometimes I just mess around in the changing room, just talk to some of the boys, in the back and stuff. But always keeping a close eye. Some games I do watch, every ball, and when I'm next and stuff. But I'm not really a nervous character. But obviously, like you say, you do get jitters. But for me, I do have a routine of making sure that I put my helmet on before my gloves.
Mm.
I'm making sure that that's on properly, and I put my gloves on, and then I'm sort of and I'm ready to go. But I'm not really a superstitious kind of guy, and making sure like this has to be right and all that sort of thing. I'm sort of go with the flow, whatever happens happens.
Mm. Are you one of those batsmen that like a heavy bat, or do you like a light bat? What's your preference?
I have a mix at the moment. I'm getting a stick because apparently I have quite a lot of bats in the change room, but I just switched sponsors, so it's sort of one of those things that they just say, obviously, send you a lot of kit when you first move. But no, I have a variety of bats. I'm not really one that just sticks with one bat sometimes. I'm sort of on feel on the day. Like in the morning, I just pick it up and say, "This one feels like the right one today," and just take it out the risk. I'm not really. I'm not really like a superstitious kind of. I have to use this until it's broken or something like that. It's just I feel like this will get me run, so I'll use this one. Let me go. So, yeah. I mean, sometimes I do. You would use a certain T20. They're normally a bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get my hands through the ball a bit faster. But yeah, I'm not really too fussy about my bets. Like people get annoyed and they get. I remember, Dean would know. Obviously, Clay was one of the most like. He used to tell me like he hated. I think he told me a story when you put a mark on the back of his bat once, and
Yeah.
it was like his number one or something like that. That sort of stuff doesn't bother me. Like that.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Yeah.
It does not bother me.
How could you remember that story, man? I hope it's not watching. You know what?
Because he used to tell me all the time. Whenever I got a new bat off the USA, and then he would, tell me about when you smacked it on the hand or something. You put an inky in it.
I did. Hey, no, you made Clayman get this bet, right? Brand new Cougar Bar bet. And I say, hey, no, let me check the pickup of this. Hit the edge of the table and had a dink in it. And for about a good hour, nobody said anything. I was just like, don't say anything. So he turns around and he looks at me, right? And he says, what have you done? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he looks down at the bet and there you see the ding. Yeah, he didn't speak. He did not speak to me, man. He wanted to knock me out. But hey, listen, man, that was a bad day. I left the house. Yeah, but yeah, when it came to and Darryl would know when it came to a bet, it was just like pride and joy. Just don't. Yeah.
I'm probably the opposite. I'm not like obviously I want them to look good, but if they get a little dent, like they cracked up and they have tape on it, it doesn't really bother me. Not on it. I always say to my teammates, it's just a piece of wood. Like get another one. It's fine.
Wow. Hey, you know what?
Doesn't really bother me too much.
I've got another question for you because I mean you're born Bermudian. Do you find some of the players with the way that you are as a Bermudian? Some of the players are just like, this guy's just so easygoing because Bermudians are easygoing, right? So, do you ever get that as a Bermudian? Like you got this laid back, just
yeah. Like a lot of my teammates, they just know, like they come in the morning and be like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling, I'm just cruising." Like they just know that. It's just like, yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I said, like the thing when I pad up really late, like we had this one guy on our team who's like one of the most nervous guys in the world. And I try my hardest just to annoy him before he goes to bed because I find it funny that someone can get this nervous. Like, I mean, it's probably not a good thing because it's my teammate, but it's pretty funny sometimes. I try to tell him, I'm just like, just chill, like, just relax. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what helps my cricket sometimes actually.
Yeah.
Just the way that sort of in some high pressure moments like big games, T20. Just being able to take that deep breath and relax, and I think helps my cricket a little bit.
Doc?
Yeah. Yeah. Listening to this bet story, we got to remember now, Dean, Dowry is sponsored, so if he chips his bet, he ain't got to worry about bets. Man. You know what I mean? He's probably got about 10 to 12 bets in that change room.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know, back when we was playing, you know, remember bets were expensive, very expensive. So you kept it very close to you. You know what I mean? Because that's your tool. That's like not making cup match back in the day when I was playing.
Yeah,
it's true.
So Delray, let me ask you, because obviously when you're playing a game 96 overs a day over 4 days and you're on the road, how many sets of gloves do you carry? How many sets of pads do you carry? How many bats do you carry for an away trip?
Normally when we go away, I'll take 4 with me, maybe.
Okay.
4 bats with me. I'm big on gloves. I like gloves, so I like the feel of new gloves, like straight out the packet. Like some people can't get their head around it, but I literally take them right out the packet and use them one time. And I don't know, I just like the feel that they like the soft and squid. Like I don't know. So I carry. I probably have 7-8 pairs of gloves in my bag at a time. Definitely good away trip. If we're at home, obviously the one in my locker, so it's probably about 10, 12 pairs. But yeah, I mean, for an away trip, it's like 7, 8.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I do sweat a lot sometimes.
Right.
So I sort of try and keep them fresh and change pretty often. But yeah, I just like I'm big on gloves. Like me, I could have the same pair of pads for 3-4 years and not be bothered. But I like gloves. I'm big on gloves. Yeah.
Just that clean look.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like it's just something like I just like the feeling of new gloves. Like,
Well, the way technology is nowadays, if someone could figure out how to keep the sweat out of those gloves, they make a lot of money, because obviously the glove would last a lot longer, because like you say, you sweat a lot, and a lot of guys do, especially in places like India and Australia, when it's really, really hot, even in England when it's really, really hot, you're changing your gloves probably every 3-4 hours.
So you don't wear inners? Do you wear inners?
No, I don't. They slip. They slip like the gloves. I don't know. I've tried them, but I can't. I wear them to catch when it's too cold. I put them on to catch, but not to batting.
Well, Delray, I want to thank you very much for joining us here this evening on the Island Stats Cricket Show. We want to wish you all the best for the remainder of the upcoming season, especially the Blast 100. I know you'll be really excited to get out there and show your work, and we'll be rooting for you. Definitely from over here in Bermuda, we'll be rooting for you, and I know there's quite a few people over in the UK that will probably get over to see some form of those games and get a chance to see you in action and live. And again, I want to say again, enjoy the rest of your birthday, Brother Mandus. I know what it is. The internet's feeling his age, Dean.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be in Hampshire to see you, my brother.
No worries. Catch you soon.
All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Take care, man.